In this part of the webinar, we're going to look at how you can search insurances and add new insurances to your insurance list. To go to the insurance setup screen, you can go to Setup menu and click on Insurance/Plan. This will bring you to the insurance search screen. On this screen, you can search for insurance using the name, payer ID, or use any additional filters. To search the insurance, you can just type the name of the insurance, and you can see it brings up the results. And then you can click on the insurance to open that insurance company. So once the insurance company opens up for you, you can edit the insurance information. So at the first field here is the name of the insurance. Next is the payer ID. This is used by clearinghouses to recognize the payer that you want the claims to be forwarded to. So this is the electronic claims ID number. Next is the payer type, what type of payer it is, whether it's an auto, Blue Cross, commercial, Medicare, or Medicaid type, whatever the type is, you can select that from this list. Next, you can enter the claim address into this address information section. To the right of it is the primary and the secondary billing method. This will drive the submission method for this insurance, how the claims for this insurance needs to be submitted, when it is the primary or the secondary. So if you want the primary claims for this insurance to go electronic, you can set that as EDI, or if you want it drop to paper, you can set it to paper. The same is for the secondary billing method. If you want it to go electronic, you can set it as EDI. If you want it drop to paper, you can select that as paper. The clearinghouse that is set up in your account will have to be selected as the claims receiver. Next, under the additional information section, you have got the eligibility payer ID. Just similar to the claims where the ID number is recognized by the clearinghouse for forwarding to that payer. Similarly, for any eligibility requests as well, the clearinghouse has to, or the intermediary has to know which payer the real-time request needs to go to and bring the response back from that payer. So this payer ID is also used for eligibility, or this field, payer ID field, is used for the eligibility submission and response recognition. Next, to the right of it, we have got an other external payer ID. This field can be disregarded for most, but for any customers who use our interface for receiving either patient demographic information or charge information, the insurance company mapping between the systems is done using this other external payer ID. The rest of the fields we would be covering in a following webinar. Now, any changes that you make on the insurance company screen, if you want to update it, you can hit the save to have the insurance company information updated. Now, over here also there is a plan information, so you can also add additional plans if you want to, just to store the copay or deductible amount. It's not mandatory for you to add additional plans, it's just for information purposes only. Now, if you want to make an insurance company inactive at any point of time, you can add an end date in here, end date effective, and that'll make that insurance company inactive. So now I'll hit the close and it'll bring me back to the search insurance company screen. Now, anytime you want to search an inactive insurance, you can always use this checkbox, include inactive, to search for inactive insurances. Now, for adding a new insurance company, you can add it in two ways. You can either hit the new insurance company button, and that'll bring you to the add new insurance company screen, where you can enter the name, the payer ID, the type of insurance, the address, and the rest of the information, and the primary and secondary billing method. Typically, for adding a new insurance, you would just need the name, payer ID, payer type, address, and you can select the primary, secondary billing method. The rest of the fields are all optional. Next, you can hit save, and that'll add the new insurance company to your insurance companies list. This is completely manual step, which means that you're adding everything manually into the insurance company. The other method that you have is you can always hit the add additional payers Now this will bring you a list, or you can search for an insurance company from a list. So you can search for an insurance using these various filters that you have on the screen. You've got the payer type filter or the claim type. You can also search with payer ID or payer name. So for example, if you want to look add an insurance which is Blue Cross of Florida, I can type in Blue Cross here and select the state here as Florida and hit search, and it shows me the Blue Cross Blue Shield of Florida, and I can check this box and add the selected payer. Also notice that there is a claim type here which tells you whether it's a professional or an institutional. So if you're adding a professional payer, always check the professional type. Now I'll hit the add selected payers, which will add the selected payer into the system. So now if I try to search here for Blue Cross of Florida, you can see that payer has been added. The payer ID, both the eligibility and the claims payer ID is also added for this payer. Now you can open that insurance by clicking on it, and you can fill in the rest of the information. Like the address will be the default address that gets filled in here. This is typically going to be the practice address, but you want to edit this address and change it to the correct Blue Cross Blue Shield address. However, that address does not have any relevance to electronic claims. So if you're for electronic claims, the payer ID, of course, is what is very important. So here I'm going to close out of this screen. So those are the two different methods that you can add a new insurance company to your insurance list. So you can either hit the new insurance and fill in all the information, or you can hit the add additional payers, by which you can have the system fill in the payer ID and use the default address. And after that, you can open the insurance company and edit the address and other information.